and welcome back to season 6, I know, 6 of Let's Talk Chicago Bears, and it's a Victory Monday! Yes! Now that's what a complete good football team does. 31-14. And that was a great game. This is what we've been waiting for, isn't it not? I mean, come on. You know it is. This is what we've been waiting for. And wow, was that wonderful. I mean, I was in such a good mood yesterday, and I'm still in a good mood. So let's get to it. But because it is a Victory Monday, that means, I know, I've been threatening this for quite a while. I am going to sing the Bears touchdown song because when they win, that's what I do, even though I don't like the song. It was written in the 40s. I wish the Bears would have a contest with people to come up with a new one. But until they do, you're going to have to hear this one and this old lady singing it for you because it's Victory Monday. So sing along with me. Let's have some fun. And go Bears! Bear down, Chicago Bears, and make every play clear the way for victory. Bear down, Chicago Bears, put up a might and a fight so fearlessly. Let them know you'll never forget the way you filled the nation with your T formation. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Let them know why you are wearing the crown. Hopefully in 2025, you're the pride and joy of Illinois. Chicago Bears, bear down. Yeah, Victory Monday. Right on, Bears. Was that great or what? So let's get into it, okay? Can you tell I'm excited? So yes, the Bears won 31-14. Can you believe it? I mean, this was a great game. They played a complete game, except for the penalties. They were error-free. So, yeah, I'm not going to bitch too much about the penalties today a little bit, but I got to tell you, it was so nice seeing that. And I was talking on Friday's show that I felt like the Bears, well, I've been saying about the offensive line and the offense. It's a new system. It's going to take them a while. They've got to learn. They've got to come together. And the same with the D. They got a new D coordinator. We've got injuries. But you know what? Head coach Ben called them all pretty much out last week. Like he was saying after he watched tape of the game, that Detroit game, he was going to have a competition within his wide receivers to see who wanted to play in the Dallas game. And then he called out their practice, how they're practicing. They're not up to the caliber they should be up to. They're not practicing as a championship playoff team. And guess what? They all came out and looked a lot better. Maybe that's what they needed, and they need to be kicked in the butt. You know what? You know, just because they're a football player and they're grown men don't mean that they don't need a big kick in the ass once in a while and a reminder that this is their job. They're paid very well for it, and they've got fans who are out there depending on them. So, all right, so let's get into a few stats, and then we'll talk about it, but it's just a good giddy day, isn't it? So the Bears offense had a total pass yards was 298 yards. Good job, Bears. Dallas had 275 passing yards. Right on. Of course, they beat us in the rush. No shock. Again, only the two complaints I would have of this game was, again, a lack of rush game and the penalties, but I don't even care right now. But they only had a total of 87 rushing yards. I know. Dallas had 121 yards. Our defense is still struggling with the run, but I don't care. We won. They stopped them when they needed to. And what I liked about this was the Bears were very good on third down. They were 8 of 14 of third down. Dallas was 3 of 11. Yeah. That third down conversion really, really helped because the first 2 weeks they weren't doing that. And I forgot to look it up, but I want to say the Bears, I don't think they had any 3-and-outs, but if they did, it was only one. It's part of my threes. It should have looked it up. Remember, pickled. But the offense, those stats are good. So let's look a little bit more into the offense. So Mr. Williams, Caleb Williams, number 18, our awesome quarterback. He was 19 of 28 with 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and no sacks. I didn't look this up, but the guy on the TV said yesterday, and I don't know if it's true, but it certainly could be true because he was the leading quarterback sack last year. This is the first game he's played that he was never sacked. I don't know. Is that true? I just remembered it, and I wish I had looked it up, but maybe that somebody out there can look it up and put it in the comments. So, yeah, he played a really good game. Dak Prescott was 31 of 40 for 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and 2 sacks. You see what I was talking about on Friday's show? That the defense needs to get in his face, collapse that line. Whether they get the sacks or not, make them make mistakes, and they did it. And they got sacks. Just great play. But and I'll name who did them, but just really, really good. Now, I'm just going to come and look at our running because we know they had 121 yards rushing, and ours are just terrible. Listen to these numbers. Swift, 33 yards yesterday. Now, a couple of the yards, he had a good passing day. But we're talking about what he was signed for, a running back. But see, what I've been saying all year and all of last year, that he's more of a finesse guy, where he's going to get you yards, on first and second, but he's not going to get you those tough, long third and 2, third and 3, and he's good in space. I'll give him that, and he showed that yesterday, but it's just we cannot get that running game. He had 33 yards. Our rookie, number 25, Kyle, he had 16 yards. And number 14, our wide receiver, OZ, had 12 yards. I like this kid. I like this guy a lot, number 14. You know what? I don't know where Johnson is. Is Johnson he's not injured anymore, number 23? Do they feel he's not? I don't know. What's going on with 23? Does anybody know? Because I can't find anything out. Confused. But I'm going to talk about the running game in a little bit, but we're going to keep on going. So our wide receivers, very good days for our wide receivers. I think that competition in camp might have woke them up a little bit. And what I'm going to show you here shows you how much Cabe is spreading their ball around. And I like it because then the defense is, if you guys got these guys out here and they're catching balls, they don't know who to double cover, all this. And it really makes it hard for defenses. Now, Dallas defense is not that great. They were what were they, like 27th or 28th out of 32 teams, something like that. But I don't care. NFL game. The wide receivers showed up and did their job yesterday for their quarterback and their team. Our rookie, number 10, Burden, he had 101 yards with a touchdown, and he had that really cool. He was on the other end of that flea flicker that went for 65 yards. That was a beaut. And I'm liking this kid because he made some other catches, but 101 yards. Congratulations. And then our second year, number 15, Rome, who I love, he had 62 yards, also with a touchdown. Right on. Now, this is what I was talking about. Swift, number 4, running back. He had 45 yards receiving and passing. So he's good in space, and he was giving us chunks. That's great. But we need him to do that and a running back. But I don't know if this guy's going to ever get 100 yards again. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, not going to stay on the negative path today. Number 84, our rookie tight end, Loveland. He had 31 yards. But unfortunately, and he caught a good pass in that game in the middle, I think it was the second quarter, because he got hurt in the first half, I think, and he never came back. So let's pray he's not hurt. Number 14, our wide receiver OZ, had 24 yards receiving. Number 2, Moore, 21 yards receiving and a touchdown. And finally, 85, Clement, our tight end, who I love, you know that. He had just 10 yards, but he had a touchdown. So you see how he has spread the ball around to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I like it. 7 different guys. And you know what? They all showed up. I really think the only time I saw anything about a wide receiver, if that was missed, that wasn't on Cabe, Rome had one, and I thought he could have caught it, but back and forth. But who cares, right? 31-14. We're happy. Happy. This face is happy. Okay. And we're going to talk, we'll get into it, but let me just do some stats for the defense, and then we'll get into some more. The defense, again, I said you had a nice game. They really did. Dallas may not have a great defense, but their offense has been scoring some points. So they were pretty high. They were averaging 30 points a game going into our game. So the defense really shut them down, and I'm proud of them. So we had 1 fumble and 2 interceptions. The fumble was taken away by 29 Stevenson. And on Friday's show, I called out Stevenson. I called out number 2, our wide receiver, Moore. I called out Swift, 98, and I mean not Swift. I do this every time. I apologize. I get Swift and Sweat's name mixed up all the time. So, again, old, pickled, and many falls downstairs and clucked my head starting the show. Okay, so, again, Stevenson had... one of as I said, he took it away, Stevenson. I was really happy for that. That was great. I mean, he literally stole it from the Dallas player. And then we had, so I was talking about the guys I called out. Again, let's finish it. I did Stevenson, Swift, number 4, our running back. I did Sweat, our D lineman, 98. And I called out, who was the other one? Shoot. I can't remember. Anyways, we'll talk about it. But I did call them out, and they, you know what? They all performed. Oh, Moore, our wide receiver Moore, okay? So, good job, number 29, for stealing that fumble. I mean, he stole it. And then we had 3 interceptions. 2 were by our linebacker, middle linebacker, number 45, Edmonds. He had 2. Right on, man. That helps pick it. He's picking up his linebacker buddies because Edmonds is still out from Lake Villa, Illinois. I'm from Lake Villa. That's why I always say that. So Edmonds had 2, which is awesome. And our backfield guy, number 31, Bide, had 1. And you know what? We had 2 sacks by number 90, Robertson, and Sweat, number 98, got his first sack of the year. So it took it to game 3 to do it, but he got it. But this guy has got to continue. We need to get double digits from him. So Sweat, let's get going. I like that I called some of these guys out. I know Moore only had, 21 yards, but he had a touchdown. But he was all over the field. I noticed that, so right on. Number 45, Edmonds, I'm mentioning him again. He led the team with tackles. He had 6 solos and 9 assists. Number 44, Swell, our middle line, the linebacker, middle guys. He had 6 solo tackles and 6 solo tackles and 5 assists. Nice job, guys. I've been watching this number 44, and I kind of like what I'm seeing from him. Swell, keep it up, man. Keep it up, especially with, again, Edmonds or Edwards being out. It's a big hurt because Edwards being out does hurt, but these guys stepped up. And number 9, Brisker, who I love. He's the backfield guy. I have always been a fan of his, and I was so bummed when he went down after that Carolina game last year, which, by the way, I was at. And by the way, the Bears won. Just saying. But he is all over the field, and he made some comments last week like he would like to be like, oh, last when he was playing, a lot of times they bring him up to the line of scrimmage. Sometimes he fakes it and then he goes back to the backfield, and sometimes he gets in there and tries to get a sack or break up a pass. He was all over the field yesterday, and they actually did it. I was talking about it, and they brought him up at one point to the line of scrimmage. It was in the first quarter, and he rushed in, and he caused Dak to throw a bad pass, and it was dropped. And they ended up going out and punting. So it was really great. I mean, Brisker is huge. See how much we missed him a lot last year. The defense went way down after Brisker was gone. Again, I was very worried about our backfield because we're missing. Well, JJ is now on IR, so there's no point in even mentioning him for a while. But Gordon is still out, and that hurts. We got to get Gordon back. If we can get Gordon back with the rest of these guys, and if Stevenson he can step up, grow up, and play like he should, I think we'll be all right, but we really need Gordon back. And then, as I was saying, Stevenson had a much better game this week. He forced that fumble. And in the fourth quarter, he had a really nice deflection of a pass from Dallas. And after that deflection, it was 3 and out. So I think, I'm sure the coaches have told him. I'm sure on the news radio in Illinois they're talking about him. But I did call him out. There's no doubt about it. So, but I liked it. And I like these guys stepping up. I think Stevenson is just an immature young man, and he needs to realize you're in the NFL. He fucked up last year during that Washington Hail Mary game, and he's never really made up for it, and I think it's time he does. Because if he doesn't have I think this is his third season. If he doesn't have a good season, he'll be gone next year for sure. Okay, so the defense played a good game. They had a few bad penalties, but they overcame them. And now they need to continue to work together. I think, they've got some of these guys were on the team last year, and the guys who weren't came from different schemes. So now they're under Dennis Allen's schemes, and I'm thinking more and more about it that maybe Dennis Allen doesn't have the talent on the Bears to play his schemes, or they're still learning it. But yesterday you could see they played together. You could really see it. And yeah, the Bears had 6 penalties in that game. And I'm not going to get on their ass too much. My goal is 5 or less, but you know what? They overcame them all. The defense and offense had some bad time with those penalties. There was a couple of them that shot him in the foot, particularly the defense, but they rallied around, came back, and did their work. And that's what a complete game from a defense looks like. They bend it, but they didn't break. So it was really nice to see that game again. I'm so proud of them, yes. And the offense. They just played great. They played their best game of the year. There's no doubt about it. It's only game 3, but they played. And I've been saying since the beginning of the year, especially with the offensive line, this is a new line, and offensive linemen have to play a lot together to be good, because that's just how the offensive line works. And each week you see Williams is having more and more time. And yesterday that line played really well, if you ask me. And that is only going to give Caleb Williams more and more confidence. He looked better this week. You could see it. He's scanning the field. He's not, his feet setting his feet. And he's looking there and he's making good decisions. And I think it's going to get better and better. I feel after that game, I know Detroit was just their problem, but maybe that Bears needed it to kind of shake them up. But the defense, except for those penalties, they had them, but only 6. So we'll stop at that. But they really played together. And this is, if they keep doing this and they're learning this scheme, remember, Caleb Williams, this is a brand new scheme for him. I know he's a sophomore year, but he's still young. And the line, oh my God, thank you, Lord. They're coming together and they're playing very well. And if this line stays healthy, knock on wood, because 58 went out yesterday. 58 went out hurt. Right, but he came back and I was like, oh no, please don't start. We got enough injuries on defense, right? So keep it going. And man, in that first quarter, did you love that trick play that they ran? Definitely a Ben Johnson play. It was in the first quarter, and they ran a flea flicker, and I don't know who he passed it off to. It might have been Swift. I'm not sure, but he passed it back to Williams, and then Williams threw it to another 10, a rookie wide receiver, Burden, and it was for a 65-yard touchdown, and the score at that point was 3-14. That was a thing of beauty. It was just, I'm not a huge fan of trick plays like that because I always remember John Madden saying back in the day, teams that do trick plays, they do them because they're not good enough yet, so they have to do the trick plays. And that's why I was never a fan, because it's like, yeah, it just shows the Bears aren't good enough. But that was great. And when they flipped it back to Williams, I was like, oh, no. And because the guys were starting to get close to him, but then he whips it. And there he is, number 10, all by himself. That was just, and they caught up to him. But it don't matter. It was beautiful. Congratulations on your first touchdown, number 10. Okay. Then what I liked of the Bears offense was there was 2 minutes and 25 seconds left right before the half, and you know how Bears have had problems with that. I think that's what kind of lost that the Monday night game against Minnesota, because the Bears are winning and they seem to be having it in hand, and then right before halftime they let Minnesota kick that field goal, and I think that the momentum just changed everything. So anyways, 2 minutes, 25 seconds left. The Bears have the ball. And what I really, really loved is they chewed up, though they gave the ball back to Dallas with just, I don't know, seconds, maybe 5 seconds are left. It don't matter. Nothing happened. So, but they chewed up the clock and got a touchdown to number 85, our tight end, Kmet. I know. Awesome, right? So, I mean, you're off. I say you just can't have 3 and outs. You can't have 3 and outs. And this just shows how big it is to chew up a clock and bonus score, either 3 or 7. Okay, another great thing. And then in the third quarter, the Bears, this was my favorite. They used up 9.5 minutes on the clock. They ran and passed the ball down the field and scored a touchdown to number 2 more. Yes, it was then 14-31. And that 9-minute was huge because I know you got to stay on the field with your offense because you're wearing out their defense, you're keeping their offense off the field, and you're letting your defense rest. So it's huge. And that's the first time in a really, really long time, including last year, I've seen the Bears chew up the clock almost 10 minutes, 9.5 minutes. I mean, just think about the advantage that is for the team. I mean, think about it, because you've got a team sitting there. It's third quarter. They're down. Before that touchdown would have been 24. 14-24, you're down. You're looking up at that clock, and you're just seeing it run down. And that just puts more pressure on the other team. So these little things that the Bears did yesterday made a huge difference. And chewing up the clock and then scoring just shows you, right? The wide receivers, as I said, looked really good. And that competition from Bed, I'd like to see it some more. Maybe he needs to push these guys a little bit more, and that's what he said. And he called them out, and I liked it. And maybe, so, something I do want to mention about the running game, though. I really am not happy about it, but I'm not going to go all over because we won. But this is I was watching some of the Giants game yesterday and a couple times this year, and I've been watching this running back. He's a running back, and his last name is Scadaboo, and he was from one of the Arizona teams, I want to say. He's a rookie, and he was taken in the 4th round. That's the guy I was preaching last year that the Bears should get, because I watched him. That guy is a power back. He's big. He can get you those yards, and he can carry guys on his back as he was doing it. And he's doing very well for the Giants right now. He's really their only running attack, even though they have other running backs. But so he was taken in the 4th round. The Bears took in the 4th round linebacker Ruben Hypolite. And he's only had 4 tackles this year, and he's been in and out. And then they took our rookie running back number 25, Kyle, in the 7th round. So I don't know. I'm thinking, I believe Poles did a bad job again. I mean, he's not done a good job with the running game at all for us when he signed Swift. Wrong sign. I mean, you could have signed Swift if you had a bona fide running, if maybe David Montgomery was still there or somebody else. Yeah, you can sign Swift as the second guy to your 1-2 punch and for your finesse runner and catching in space, but not as your lead guy. We should have gotten Scatterboo. We're going to regret it. I'm telling you what, check this guy out. He's good. He really, really is. I mean, not yet great, but, he's only a rookie. Better than what we got, that's for sure. But you know what? At the end of the day, we won the game. So they won my 3s. They had 6 penalties, but I'll give it to them. Doesn't matter because they won 2 out of 3. I say if you can win all 3 categories, which my 3s are penalties, turnovers, and 3 and outs. They won the turnover battle 4 and 3 and outs. I don't think they had any. If they did, it was 1. But I don't think they did. And in penalties, they had 6. I say 5. So we'll give it to them. But I got to tell you, it was just... Now, at the end of the day, again, I was saying to my son, now that's an error-free, complete game. I've said it so many times, but that's what we need week in and week out. Okay, so next week, they're coming here to Vegas. I know. Stadium's 10 minutes down the street from my house. Where I'm living right now. As I mentioned before, I want to go, but the tickets started out at $400, and they weren't great seats, with the fees and everything, and then they went down to $325. I heard about this, and they're still $300. I heard about a site, Last Minute Tickets. I might try that, like Saturday night or even Sunday morning, and then go. I won't pay more than $200. I'm just not going to do it. Last year, me and my sister flew into Illinois. She came from Tennessee. I came from Vegas. Our tickets were $225 total, and we had pretty decent seats. And it was a beautiful day, and they won. So, you know what? Fuck you, Vegas. It's because it's Vegas. That's why. So, I don't know if I'll be going. I sure would like to, but I also don't want to spend a ton of money, and if they lose, then I'd be really pissed. My son and my daughter-in-law going. They get to use my daughter-in-law's father's. He has season tickets, so I may be there. We'll see. I'll tell you more on Friday, but that's our next game, and that is a winnable game. If the Bears play like they did yesterday in all facets, the one thing I will tell you, though, out of one of those the 6 penalties, it was on the special teams, and it was early in the game, and it gave Dallas really good field position after the punt, and then then the penalty was on the Bears, and they actually went down and scored. So another bug of what I'm worried about is special teams. This kid, number 19, was supposed to really be a great punter. He's been doing okay, but he's not getting on the 5-yard line as much as I want. And it worries me, these special teamers. I want them to get down there and tackle him. He's got to work on not kicking his coverage, where he's done many times. He's got to work on that, because that's kind of a lingering problem I've noticed, but not huge. But next week, winnable, okay? We could be 2-2 after the first quarter, after the first 4 games. And you know what I've been saying is, because they don't play the same in training camp, it takes you about to the 3rd game, unless you're super good like some of these teams. Even the really, really good teams have given up a lot of points and have only won. Look at Buffalo. They barely won a couple weeks in a row. It took Kansas City to the 3rd game to win. So, you know what? We have the same record as Kansas City, but I don't give a shit about that. And I'll tell you what, I'm really rooting. Baltimore. Baltimore's playing Detroit. I'm really rooting for Baltimore for 2 reasons. I've got Baltimore's defense. in my fantasy league. See, I don't like betting on football. I'm not a football bettor. Because it ruins the game for me. Because then I'm worried about money and points and this that. But it's my son's league, so I did it. But I want Detroit for the defense to be, or not Detroit, Ravens to be good for my football league, and to beat Detroit, because then we'll have the same record as Detroit. And with Green Bay, that's the other thing. It was a perfect day for a Chicago Bear fan yesterday. I forgot this. The Bears win, looked good, and the Packers lost to Cleveland. Yeah, now that's a good day. So now now that we all have wins, we're right there. The Bears just need to keep doing what they're doing. Next week here in Vegas, they've got to play a solid game again. So I'll talk about that Friday, all right? I just want to let you know, and maybe not, I'll be there. We'll see. But congratulations, Bears, and this is what we've been looking for. This is all we're asking. You play like this, and you're just going to get better and better, because the more you play like this, the more it gets in your head and the more excited you are, and you're just like, yeah, we could do anything now. We can. And they become believers. I think a lot of the Bears' problems is they've been losing so long, they don't know how to win. They forgot. They become losers. Let's change the narrative and become winners, right? Because we're 1-2. Woo-hoo. And it's a Victory Monday. All right, that's it. So, thank you all for watching. I really, really appreciate people who watch me. You know I say this all the time, and I mean it. I really mean it. Not too many women my age, 67 years old, who've been watching the Bears faithfully for 50 years, no lie, 75 is when I started, and doing this. And people watch me, and I think you must enjoy me. Well, who wouldn't enjoy me? I'm awesome. And if I can make you laugh and bring a smile to your face and give you a little knowledge and maybe teach you something about football, bonus, right? So thank you for watching. And, if you like, subscribe. Mostly just watch me. I don't really care about subscriptions. I just hope people watch me, that's all. And let's just stick together, Bears fans, because we're only going to go up. And as I always leave the show, be kind to one another. Love one another. Help people out if they look like they're struggling and need help. Smile at people. Smiling is so much better than frowning. You don't get the wrinkles. And when you're out and about, it can really cheer somebody up who might not be having a good day, because you never know what somebody's going through in their lives. Trust me, this I know, because I have had a long, interesting life, and there has been a lot of trials and tribulations and a lot of ups and downs, but I'm still here, and I'm smiling. So thank you all. I love you. Be kind. I'll see you Friday. We'll go over the Las Vegas Raiders game on Friday, and as always, keep on rocking and rolling from Vegas, baby.